Hello, welcome back to ASMR story time. I promise the camera gets more steady. I just wanted to wave. As you can see, I'm doing a completely different video. The other day I was just in the field behind my house and I was admiring this tree, as I have done many times before, and I thought it would be nice to do a video including this tree. So here's the tree. So this is an oak, an old English oak tree, and a tree surgeon friend of mine said it's probably around about 200 years old, which is incredible. So I've filmed separately to videoing because it was quite windy when I was filming the tree, and there's a river just behind the tree as well, so it would have been quite noisy. So I've added wind and water as an effect, and I love how all this moss grows on it, and how much it changes throughout the year. The Druids performed lots of rituals under oak trees because it was such a sacred tree. Ancient Celts believed that the oak tree was a portal to other worlds, and that its branches reached up to the heavens. Where the gods and goddesses lived. I have a feeling that there was knowledge, or there were beliefs, about the roots reaching down to hell. The Welsh name Derwen is also oak related, means from the oak tree. Apparently I am getting this information off the internet, but I know that Derwen is definitely oak connected, and oak trees are very sacred in this part of the world. So I decided I thought I would tell a story about a tree whilst you couldn't see a video of a tree. So this is the story called The Enchanted Tree, and it's by Brothers Grimm. So it's a Grimm's Fairytale. A poor servant maid was once travelling through a wood with her master and mistress when they were attacked by robbers who came out of the thicket and murdered all that passed that way. None of the party escaped except the maid servant, who in the fight had sprung aside and hidden herself behind a tree. As soon as the robbers had made off with their booty, she ventured out of her hiding place and saw what dreadful trouble had happened. Then she began to weep bitterly and said, "What shall I, a poor maiden, do now?" shall certainly be starving to death. She tried to find a way out of the wood, however, but without success. At length, tired out, she seated herself under a tree and determined to remain there, whatever might happen, without attempting to go away, and trust in heaven to help her. After she had been sitting there a short time, a white dove flew down from the tree, and he carried in his beak a little golden key. This golden key he placed in the hand of the maiden and said, "Do you see yonder a large tree? On it is a little lock which can be opened with that key. If you open it, you will find plenty to eat and drink, and to relieve the pain of hunger from which you are suffering." She went to the tree, unlocked it, and found, to her surprise, a basin full of white bread and milk, so that she could eat and be satisfied. When she had finished, she said to herself, "This is the time for the chickens to go home to roost. I am so tired, I wish I had a bed to lie on." Again the white dove flew down and brought another key and said, "Unlock the tree with this and you will find a bed." She did as she was told, and there she found a pretty little white bed, and, praying to heaven to watch over her during the night, she laid herself down and slept. In the morning, the dove came a third time and brought her another key and said, "Unlock the tree again, and you will find clothes." And when she did, there she saw beautiful dresses embroidered with gold and precious stones, such as none but a king's daughter could wear. She remained after this for a long time in the wood, and the dove came every day and took care of her. She was poor, but it was a peaceable and happy life. At last the dove came one day and said to her, "Will you do something for me, only for love?" "With all my heart," she replied. Then said the dove, "I will take you to a small cottage on the heath, in which lives an old woman. When you go in, she will say, 'Good day to you for your life.' Give her no reply. Let her do what she may, but turn away to the right, and you will see a door which you must open, and in the room on a table lies a heap of rings of all sorts and descriptions, some of them set with beautiful and glittering precious stones. But leave all these alone, and look only for a plain gold ring, which must be among them, and bring it to me as quickly as you can." The maiden hastened to do the commands of the little dove. He led her to the house, and she stepped in. There sat the old woman and said, "Good day, my child." But she gave no reply and went on to the other door. As she was opening it, the old woman cried, "Where are you going? This is my house. No one can enter here without my permission." And she seized her by the dress and tried to hold her fast, but the maiden kept silent, freed herself from the old woman's grasp, and went right into the room. There on the table lay an immense number of rings that shone and glittered before her eyes, but she threw them on one side and searched for the plain one, which, however, she could not find. While she was searching, she happened to look up and saw the old woman slipping away with a bird cage in her hand. The maiden followed her out quickly, took the cage from her, and as she opened it and looked inside, there was a bird with the plain ring in its beak. She took the ring and went away, full of joy, from the house, and was soon back to the tree where she expected to see the white dove waiting for her, for she expected him to fetch the ring, but he did not come. While she waited, she leaned against the tree. And as she stood, she felt that the tree became soft and flexible, and the branches sunk down. All at once, two of the branches wound themselves around her, and they were the arms of a human being. And as she looked up, she saw that the tree had changed into a handsome man who kissed her and pressed her to his heart and said, "You have broken the spell and delivered me from the power of the old woman who is a wicked witch. She changed me into a tree, and every day for 2 hours I was able to take the form of a white dove, but so long as she kept the ring, I could not recover my human form." At the same time, the horses and servants were set free from the witchcraft, for they also had been changed into trees, and stood near their master. Then they all travelled away to his kingdom, for he was a king's son, and he took the maiden with him and made her his wife. If you're